This is big breaking emergency news. A state of emergency has been declared overnight, Sunday night. It is now Monday morning. This emergency has been declared. Mass evacuations are happening. We're having casualties as well, very tragically. And we are also seeing travel restrictions and do not travel orders are in place right now in multiple different states. We are having emergency situations inside of New York and Connecticut right now. So let's get into the details here really quick. Please hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on all this big news, and it helps to get these warnings out, all right, because this is a live situation and people are trapped, right? Some people are trapped, some people are evacuating, and some people are being told do not travel, right? So this was kind of unexpected. No one was prepared for this, and this is affecting New York City and the surrounding areas right now are heavily being affected. Long Island is being affected, New York City, and parts of Connecticut as well are also being heavily affected from this. So a state of emergency has been declared in multiple different places. Let's start off with the biggest one being affected right now. Long Island, New York, and Suffolk County is under a state of emergency after major flash flooding and a large amount of rainfall overnight pummeled the North Shore, washing away roads and prompting rescues and evacuations. So this happened overnight, Sunday night, and they received 6 to 10 inches of rain, causing flash flooding. Roads are being washed out, and there were multiple water rescues in Nesconset, also Ron Concoma, Smithtown, and St. James are all having water rescues from emergency authorities. The Coast Guard is involved with this. This is a major situation here, and it's being reported that there are multiple different casualties in Connecticut as well, right? Because this is right here. Long Island is right south of Connecticut, and they had major flooding there too. It says at least 2 confirmed and casualties and about 100 people evacuated by rescue crews as flash flooding hits parts of Connecticut and New York. It says that 2 people were found in the town of Oxford. The fire chief, Scott Pelletier, told CNN on Monday, and the town is about 15 miles northwest of New Haven, Connecticut. Officials earlier reported 1 person was missing in Oxford, and it's not yet clear if that's the same person that was found among the 2 people. It says, quote, widespread flooding and water rescues were reported Sunday, and the National Weather Service issued a warning for flash flooding. It says first responders rescued 19 people and a dog Sunday night from a Oxford restaurant and nearby apartment. Jeremy Rodrigo, Beacon Falls Emergency Management Director, told CNN. It says the Brookside Inn was surrounded by rushing waters with 18 people inside. All right, so this is a restaurant, and there were people trapped inside from this flash flooding that happened. All right, the storm rolled in very quickly, came out of nowhere, and a lot of these cities and a lot of these areas, they are not built for drainage, okay? They do not have good drainage, and they're very low-lying areas. They're right there in the bay and right on the water, and water can accumulate very quickly in these regions, right? So major flooding here has been going on, and it says, quote, we were concerned that the restaurant was compromised. This was the one in Connecticut, and was going to get washed away. All right, this is what the emergency management director for Beacon Falls said. He said, quote, we had a very short window of time to get over there and set up a ladder truck and extend our ladder 100 feet to rescue them. All right, so they had to set up a truck in the region where it wasn't flooded and extend over to try to help these people. And they rescued 18 different people, and there's been over 100 different evacuations like this of people around Connecticut and Long Island that are being affected right now. It says southwestern Connecticut saw 6 to 10 inches of rainfall in about 6 to 9 hours on Sunday. That's what David Stark of the National Weather Service in New York said. And he said Monroe, Connecticut received 9.98 inches, almost 10 inches of rain, which is a 1 in 200 year event for the city. Right? So 1 in 200 year event. We keep seeing this. What's going on? We keep seeing these 100-year floods. Now it's a 200-year flood. You can't make this up. We're seeing it constantly. What do you guys think is going on? Kind of suspicious. All right, a little strange. What's happening here? All right, what do you guys think is happening? And some of these places, like in Kentucky, Ohio, they're seeing these 100-year floods every few years, right? This one town in Kentucky, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I reported on it just a couple months ago, how they've seen 300-year floods just in the past 10 years, okay? It's every few years, and it's been 2 of them just in the past 5 years. They keep having these, quote, 100-year flood events, just wiping out and wrecking the towns, and now they're saying this is a 1 in 200 year event for the city of Monroe, Connecticut. All right, so it says additional rain is expected across the northeast United States on Monday afternoon as well, with a level 2 out of 4 risk of excessive rainfall in place for parts of Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and New York State. All right, so roads are being washed away. People are trapped. We could see power outages from this as well too, and we could see it could take time. It could take days or even a week for the roads to be pumped out. All right, and I've seen this multiple times down south from major hurricanes where you'll have entire highways shut down. All right, it's just you have to go. You're completely diverted around and have to avoid the water, right? Because there's so much water on the highway, and they just have to shut it down for days until it clears out, or they pump it out. Sometimes there's nowhere to even pump it unless they bring in trucks to do that, but a lot of times they won't do that, right? Most of the time that's not happening. So we could see roads, major highways shut down from flooding as well, and we're seeing major washouts in this region too. It says that about 1 to 2 inches of accumulated rain are expected in the region for Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and New York, and some areas expecting up to 3 inches. All right. It goes on to say, quote, emergency management is continuing to report ongoing water rescues, several mudslides, numerous washed out roadways and bridges, as well as swollen rivers taking place from central Fairfield County into northern New Haven County. In addition, emergency management officials are assessing the integrity of several dams in the area, the Weather Service said late Sunday night. All right, so they're worried that there could be major dam failure as well. And this is another thing we keep seeing too. All of our critical infrastructure is rotting. It's falling apart. And there's been trillions of dollars spent, supposedly, allegedly, on rebuilding and modernizing our critical infrastructure, like our dams, our roads, our electric grid. All these things are extremely outdated and vulnerable and not cutting it anymore. And we are now seeing more dam failures happen in Connecticut and New York as well too, right? They're keeping an eye on it. They're assessing the integrity. So we could see dam failures in this area. That's what emergency management officials are warning of. And it says nearly 1 million people in Suffolk County New York were under a flash flood emergency Monday in the middle of the night. All right, so that's the other thing that was scary about this, is that middle of the night, everyone's sleeping, and you're getting this alert at 2 in the morning that if you're lucky, you get an alert on your phone. If you're not lucky, you just see flooding in your house and you hear some water trickling and you're wondering what's going on, right? And you might be trapped, right? These people in this restaurant, they weren't even asleep at all. Maybe it was like a bar or something too, because it seemed like they were out late. But even they didn't see it, right? They didn't realize that this flooding was going on. And they weren't even asleep, right? So this happened in the middle of the night sorry about that. It says nearly 1 million people. Sorry about that. I was misreading. Nearly 1 million people in Suffolk County were under this flash flooding. So make sure you have these alerts set up too. A couple weeks ago, when this Hurricane Debbie was coming through, I was getting tornado warnings on my phone, and it was saying to take cover. It was saying a tornado has been spotted in the area, and I checked it on the map, and it was a mile away in a straight line, right, from where we are. So these things can happen. And they're also warning people that they need to stay home. All right, multiple different states and counties are announcing that they need to stay home and do not drive right now. It says, quote, multiple roads in town are flooded due to heavy rainfall, and we are advising residents to stay in their homes if at all possible. That's what the Southbury police said, and said, quote, crews are working around town responding to emergencies and road closures. Another quote is, a good number of roads in the western portion of the state are closed and are expected to remain closed for an extended period. So they're warning multiple different states and cities that you do not need to be traveling right now. Stay home. That's your best. And it's true. You don't want to get trapped in some type of flash flooding situation and your car's stuck, right? Stuck in the water. You think it's not as deep, right? Never drive into water that you can't see the bottom. You're not sure, right? You can bottom out and get stuck. And they're even saying train service is being suspended in some areas as well due to a mudslide in Seymour, Connecticut, right? They had a mudslide of the railway, the Metro North Railroad and Waterbury branch, right? They're saying that the train service has been suspended in both directions due to a major mudslide on the tracks, right? It also says that heavy rainfall triggered another mudslide leading to a gas leak near an apartment complex in Danbury, which had to be evacuated according to the Danbury police. And it also says that another Danbury apartment complex had to be evacuated due to flooding. So this is a live situation. It's going to continue raining into Monday as well. So if you're in this region, even if you're in Maine or these New England states, this rain and this system is going to be moving into that area as well. And it's also being reported that more than 700 flights were just canceled at the 3 major airports near New York City on Sunday from this mass flooding as well. So there's cancellations at JFK, Newark, and LaGuardia airports, and they also experienced ground stops Sunday night due to extreme weather, according to the FAA. So be prepared, be ready, have evacuation plans, evacuation routes, multiple different routes if you can have it. And some of these rural places, they have a mudslide, right? They have a mudslide of the railway, the Metro North Railroad and Waterbury branch, right? They had a mudslide of the railway, the Metro North Railroad and Waterbury branch. So they're saying that the train service has been suspended in some areas due to a mudslide. And some of these rural places, there's only one road in and one road out. So if the road gets washed out, it's over, right? It's done. So another reason to have a high clearance vehicle, if you can. Have some type of truck, SUV, high clearance, at least a couple feet of clearance that you can go off road, you can take some bumps, you can take some ruts in case this road washes out. Maybe you can drive around it if you need an emergency, because what happens, the roads wash out, how are you going to get somewhere if an emergency happens, and how are they going to get to you, right? You're pretty much cut off in a lot of these situations. That's what's happening to people right now in Connecticut. So thank you guys. Please hit it up for me down there to help get these warnings out. People need to know what's going on and they need to be prepared. This is going to continue into Monday and Tuesday. So thank you guys. I hope you have big blessings for your life, your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.